I am going to do a quick walkthrough with this for Chapter 5, and then Megan has prepared something for us for Chapter 6. Okay? And just reminding ourselves that the title of Chapter 5 was Getting Teachers on Board and Finding a Starting Point. And I don't know if any of you have ever felt like when you go to address a teacher, now I know this is a man down here, but the teacher says, there's the door, get out of here, as our little, where is the, is this the, yeah, as our little laser down here says, or that we're getting down on our hands and knees begging people to allow us to help them, which that really spoke to me when I saw that, yeah. I wanted to just quickly review some outcomes that I want to do as we review Chapter 5. We have some stages of change that we have some posters hung up for that will allow us to revisit and review those changes and possibly look at the applications of the stages of the change of instructional coaching and how our teachers, how we can even identify where our teachers are at within those stages of changes. We are going to discuss strategies used to get teachers on board with instructional coaches. Review and identify aspects of the Big Four, which align exactly to our district core beliefs. Review and identify 5 tactics that enhance the instructional coach's ability to translate research into practice and make connections with the content of the chapter and CUSD's current practices and beliefs. Okay, so, because there's a nice little diagram on page 80 that reminds us that when we begin the coaching process, we keep in mind that getting teachers on board is one of the main ideas of that coaching process. We've had a lot of discussion about how we accomplish that. We also have to understand what those change cycles are, those change stages and cycles. We also have to be able to effectively use strategies to enroll teachers and to know what those strategies are. We have to use the Big Four and be familiar with those ideas of the Big Four to continue to engage and enroll our teachers. And then we have to be knowledgeable enough about what we are asking our teachers to do in terms of best practices. We have to be knowledgeable enough about those to be able to explain those to our teachers, because we are all about all students can learn. I had one extra arrow there, so I thought that was a great one to put in. Okay. All right, and then the Big Four. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the Big Four because we have talked a lot about the importance of behavior and being not only the teacher's behavior in the classroom, but being able to manage that classroom, the classroom management. Content knowledge, direct instruction, which ties right into all of our training we've been doing with I do, we do, and you do. And then the formative assessment, which ties into what we're doing with our site PLCs as well as our district PLCs. We're going to start first with looking at Prochaska's, I'm not certain if I pronounced that correctly, but I gave that my best shot, his 6 stages of change. We're going to do a little concept attainment activity with that. In that, and what did I do with my folder that has all of those? I'll bet it's back there someplace on the table. Okay, thank you. I have my assistant here who's helping me out. Okay, it should be in a manila folder. I had it sitting right here on the table. Do we see it?
There's a manila folder right here.
Ah, that's it, right there. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Each of you are going to get a little paper clipped. They're not in an envelope, but they are paper clipped. And there are strips of paper. There are the 5 headings that are color-coded. And you'll notice that the 5 headings align with the headings that you can see right now. That's ELA questions. I hung the other poster over here for the termination stage. These are the stages we read about. In each stage, gave us a model that was applicable to instructional coaching and the way teachers might use things. I'm going to ask you to organize those 6 stages of change into headings and descriptors of each stage. Each stage will have a people descriptor, and each stage will have a teacher descriptor. And I didn't make these up. These are all from the book, but I just kind of entwined them. Each of you at your table should have a facilitator who makes certain that each person receives a strip of paper and is participating right along. A reporter will read completed stages to the entire group once you have the entire concept attainment done. The timekeeper will monitor, because we're only going to take about 5 minutes for this. And then once we are finished, a recorder or materials keeper will organize and collect the materials. Now let me show you an example of what I mean by a people descriptor and a teacher descriptor. If you look back on that very first stage, recall that we read about the first stage of change is the pre-contemplation stage of change. The research that has shown that people tend to ignore data that suggests they should change. And the book makes a relationship and a connection that oftentimes when we talk about this first level of change, that teachers are blaming the students, the principal, the parents' lack of support, large class size, everyone and everything but what? But themselves. Okay, so that's a people descriptor and a teacher descriptor. So each stage of change will have a descriptor for both people and teacher. So I'm wanting you to remember, and try not to use your books for this, because I'm wanting you to remember what those are. Let's see if, can we get 5 people in each group? It'll probably work best with 5 people in each group. Okay, and need to make some area in the center of your table there to quickly sort these out. Is there a place back here? Okay. Is everyone?
Are you saying
Okay, and
statement that you want to use?
whoever wants to do time for
Can there be co-timekeepers? Because that sounds like a good job for me today.
So are you ready to press the button?
Sure.
Ready, go. Each of you are always facilitating.
Okay, and timekeepers to help you out, I have reduced our minute, and there's a little time thing there on the.
We start with the pre-contemplation.
Right.
Yes. Then contemplation. Then preparation.
Oh, are we supposed to match up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so who has the first determination?
Right over there.
People ignore data that suggests they should change.
It's like it's not an issue when they have it.
Teachers start to think about and consider the causes, resources, and possible methods he or she.
Because
people ignore data.
That's
Pre-contemplation.
Teacher takes time to plan what they have to do to implement change.
And I think people are planning to take action. Contemplation. Teachers carrying out some teaching practices and strategies.
Oh, I see.
Trying out. Action.
Say that one more time.